Hi everyone, it's a ticket to Christ. Thanks for tuning back in. We're still on the spiritual battle, end time saints. We're looking at how to always win a spiritual battle. And a great study is 2 Chronicles 20. We don't have time to read the whole thing, but in a nutshell, what this passage is about is how deliverance came to the nation of Judah during the reign of Jehoshaphat, Solomon's son, which is David's grandson. So there were those who hated the Israelites, like the descendants of Lot. They rose up in a multitude and they attacked the kingdom of Judah, which at that time had split from the kingdom of Israel because of sin. Judah's kings, however, were more inclined to the Lord, but the kings of Israel leaned towards worshiping Baal and wicked demonic so-called gods. So Jehoshaphat in this passage gives us a good illustrative blueprint for what to do when the odds are against you and your enemies appear to advance. And first it talks about that Jehoshaphat, he set himself to seek the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. Then Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of the Lord. Even out of all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord. Then Jehoshaphat stood before the congregation and he prayed a prayer, and he reminded the Lord of his promises of what God said to do. And then we're picking up here in verse and it says also, that all of Judah stood before the Lord with their little ones, their wives, and their children. So you see a lot of humility there. And then we're picking up in verse 18 here, where we are reading, And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshiping the Lord. And the Levites of the children of the Kohathites and of the children of the Kohathites stood up to praise the Lord God of Israel with a loud voice on high. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, "Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord your God, so shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper." And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers unto the Lord, and that should praise the beauty of holiness as they, went out before the army, and to say, "Praise the Lord, for his mercy endureth forever." And when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, which were come against Judah, and they were smitten. Isn't that awesome? It says here, "For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to stray and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, every one helped to destroy another. And when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, they were dead bodies fallen to the earth, and none escaped." Wow. So this was a battle that God fought for them. They didn't have to do anything. So what stands out for you in this passage here regarding what Jehoshaphat did, what Judah did, what type of attitude they had, and how they approached the whole situation? For me, what I felt was moving was that those in Judah brought their entire families. They came as full households before the Lord. I see humility. I see as well that God was their protector and God was their defender, that they had made God their defender and protector. They had faith and trust in God. So they had the right heart and they had the right attitude. But they also use spiritual principles in this whole fight. Like, I see a lot of spiritual principles at work. Jehoshaphat setting himself up to seek the Lord, them gathering together, standing before the congregation, reminding the Lord of his promises, coming with hearts that were repentant, and having faith, remembering to have faith. So they came with faith. They fell before the Lord and worshiped the Lord. And then he appointed singers. Now, what this shows me is that praise is a powerful spiritual weapon. Verse 21, it says, he appointed singers unto the Lord, that they should praise the beauty of holiness. So you have a situation with war, and Jehoshaphat is appointing singers, worshipers. So that's first thing to do. Sing, worship the Lord. You're going through a hard time, worship the Lord. Sing songs of praises. This does work. I do this all the time. Something happens in the spiritual realm and everything shifts. Angels are dispatched. I don't know what happens, but God just fights. And it's just, your heart is rested on him. You are focused on the Lord. You're praising him. You're rejoicing in him. And demonic strongholds, they just have to flee. And it says here that they went out before the army and to say, praise the Lord, for his mercy endureth forever. So they were praising the Lord before any victory. And it says that when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord set ambushments against their enemies. So when the Judeans came, the only thing they saw were these dead bodies, and so that is a good pattern to follow. And I think this is a great passage to really examine thoroughly if you're going through a difficult, really hard challenge. Just really look at what was going on, what approach they took, and just really the level of faith and the heart that they came with. Again, they came spiritually correct, in alignment with what God said to do, and just really emptied themselves and came with everything. Everybody was unified, and God moved powerfully. So this passage really inspires me. It's also on my blog site, A Ticket to Christ, the blog post. If you want that information, you can find it on the About Us section of this YouTube video. But that's it from me. I hope you're, inspired by this and you get more from it for yourself as you read it. And I'm sure you will. Hope you're having a blessed day. Take care.